A is for apples, they are delicious, and they're also very good for you. B is for balloons at your birthday party, that was a good one, everybody danced. C is for cookies, they are so tasty, but they're just a sometimes snack. And D is for divorce, that your parents filed for. Yeah, D is for divorce, they don't love each other anymore. E is for every time that you're with them, all they do is fight and fight all day. F's the frustration that you are feeling, 'cause the pain inside won't go away. G is for the good times that are over, things are different now, you have 2 homes. And D is for divorce, they might say it's not your fault. Yeah, D is for divorce, but you'll never really know for sure. The weekend comes and Dad is home, but it's just for visitation. Takes you back to his new bachelor pad and cries his eyes out on the couch, 'cause Mom has got a new boyfriend, and you can call him Dad if you want. We sing la 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 la. D is for divorce, and we sing la 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 la. D is for divorce. Sometimes strangers talk to you. You might not know what to do. Remember the words I'm telling you. Some strangers, they might want you for your organs. They might seem friendly and nice. They might be very polite. So please, please take this free advice. It's so important, please protect your organs. It's not your fault. Some strangers are bad. They'll tell you what you want to hear, and you'll wake up without kidneys anymore. It's like they walked right out the door. Those kidneys are never coming back. I know you must be pretty scared going out into the world, but you should be fully prepared to fight for your right to keep those organs. So when a stranger talks to you, what is the safest thing to do? Assume that
Whoa, Evil Dave got here just in time. Wow, just in time to get ourselves started. Is that a proper use of ourselves or get us started? Who knows if that should be the reflexive form of that pronoun. Welcome to the Living Room Show. Thank you all so much for being here. Give yourself a round of applause. And most of that was coming from the Carbo household. That's where I heard the cheering coming from. Hope you guys are okay down in Boca with everything going on down there. A couple of quick announcements before we get started. This is stand-up comedy on Zoom. If you are somewhere with not too much background noise, if you don't currently have a Category 8 hurricane going by, go ahead and unmute yourselves. Let us hear your amazing, awesome laughter. If you do have some loud background noise, then go ahead and at least let us see your beautiful smiling faces. Turn that video on. We want to see those smiles. We suggest watching this show in speaker view. So go ahead and hit that button up there in the corner. Or if I'm mirrored in your screen, the button up in that corner. Or if you're on an iPhone, swipe on over. It's pretend it's Tinder, and you just go across, and that brings it over to speaker view. Next announcement. Shout out to everybody watching us over on Comedy Hub on Twitch. Give them a round of applause. Yeah. All right. The energy coming from the Carbo household. I hear it. I feel it. I love it. Want some more of it. Next announcement. This is a free stand-up comedy show. You know that because I think I recognize all of you in the audience. You've all been here. I'm not even sure why I'm doing these announcements because you've all heard them hundreds of times at this point. So just say them along with me. You can send us some tips. If you want to show these comics some love, you can use the email livingroomcomedy@gmail.com. You could find us on Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle. Or if you want to find us on the Cash app, you can go to cash.app/$ Aaron Kominos-Smith, all one word, the way God intended. And I think that is about it for all of our announcements. Other than that, have a great time. Enjoy yourselves. Grab whatever dog is closest to you. Put it on your lap, even if it's not a lap dog. I say go for it. And if not, if you have 3 dogs, if you are the Carbos, let someone else borrow your dog to have the dog on your lap. We're going to have a great time. I am so excited for your MC. She is absolutely hilarious. She has the same virtual background as me, which we really should start sending out to all of the comics. I don't know why we haven't put that together. I guess we're just not professional enough. But if you send us enough tips, we will consider this a full-time job to treat it professionally and do something like that. So it's on all of you why this background back here is only shared between me and Carrie. That's on you, everybody. So excited for this MC. She is absolutely hilarious. She will sit in the front row of your stand-up comedy special when you're filming it. Let's hear it right now for Carrie Gravenson, everybody.
It's such a pleasure to be here. Yes, Aaron, I like that we ask for tips and then we come up with a weird thing we're going to use it for. When secretly you and I are getting billions of dollars in tips each week.
So much.
We're just hoarding it for ourselves. It is quite the racket we have going here to keep the show rolling. Hello. Yes, I sat in the front row of Aaron's taping and I had a nervous breakdown because I thought I was laughing weird. Once you think you are laughing weird, you can't stop and make yourself laugh normal. I learned that painfully on a sweaty Saturday night where I had a mental internal monologue that demanded I laugh normal, laugh normal, laugh normal, laugh normal, or you're gonna screw up Aaron's recording. And Aaron, I don't know that I need you to confirm that you were not aware of this on stage, right?
I had no idea. Seemed totally normal.
Okay, good. So my mental collapse was not, no one was aware of it. Hello, yeah, we rebounded. By Sunday, I felt better, and I was like, I think that was okay. I'm glad I didn't send you the email that I had written in my head, apologizing for laughing and ruining your album recording. So I think I know where most of you are geographically, but do we have any New Yorkers? We had a couple of New Yorkers in the crowd. Aaron's in New York, I know that. This was the week that it got cold enough for the steam heat to come on. Ooh. Overnight. This was steam heat week. I think it drops below 50 degrees overnight and the steam comes on. And I woke up one night and I could hear it. And oh, what's this background noise? It's like we're like on a plane. It's the steam heat, exactly. I called for it. But yeah, I could hear it and smell it, and I was like, it smells like my childhood, you know, like it smells like growing up in New York City when in the winter, like you smell the steam heat. And then I was like, what is that? What is the smell though? Because it should just be steam. It shouldn't be. And I'm like, it's probably the dust that accumulates in the coils of the radiator, right? And if we think about it, what is dust made of? Dust is made up mostly of dead human cells, which means that steam heat smell is actually burning human flesh. Oh. Okay. Hi, if you're just joining us, this has been my science TED Talk, where I discovered I was smelling human flesh, and it smells like childhood to me. I don't hate it. It was it's been creepy cold. It makes me not want to go to the gym. I'm still doing the thing where if anyone talks to me in the gym at all, I leave the entire premises. Somebody came up to me today, how many more sets do you have on that machine? And I said, you can have the machine, and I'm leaving the entire establishment. I went home. Do not talk to me in the gym. I am afraid of you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm scared. And I don't think that's the. I don't think I'm weird. I think everyone else is weird for talking to me in the gym. I went to Costco today. Humble brag. Yeah, thank you. Hold, yes. Hold for applause. And I was doing a return, and I realized that Costco needs 2 return lines. One for me, which is straightforward returns. And that means I bought an item, I know I don't want it anymore, I have the receipt, I have my membership card, and I am returning this item. That's one line, the Carrie line. Then you want the other line for people returning things that involve a negotiation. They don't have the receipt, they bought it, they don't have a membership, this was a gift card, they don't have the tags on anything, you gotta look up the barcodes. The scammers, we need a scammers line and a Carrie line. Who's on the Carrie line? Yeah, thank you. And we need everyone else on the scammers line. I've been on the scammers line, by the way. I have returned things to Sephora that I did not buy there. And I had to, I held up the line by scamming Sephora to see if I could. I don't know, I was broke and I needed, a gift card and some stink eye. They gave me the gift card and they were like, you can't come back into Sephora for 3 years. And I was like, I totally get it. And we're on the same page here and I'm out of here. Yeah, so that's why we need 2 lines. This is also a very New York thing. I don't know if other parts of the country have what we call a New York alternate side of the street parking. If I say alternate side, that doesn't ring a bell? But it's where New York City will make you move your car arbitrarily from one side of the street to the other for just funsies. Just to make sure the car starts. It's just like a fun thing that we do once or twice a week. And everybody agrees that it sucks and nobody knows how to not do this. Like, we can't figure this out as a society. But I had an experience where I was at the doctor's office and the nurse came in and said, the doctor will be a little bit late. He's waiting for alternate side. So the doctor had to go move his car and then wait for it, because if you leave your car early, you'll get a ticket. But if you're in your car, they won't ticket you. This is a stupid game. And everyone agrees that you can't be mad. If you're like, oh, I can't go into labor right now, there's alternate side, people would understand. Be like, oh, okay, yeah, like if there was a bomb shelter, I can't get in my bomb shelter, I gotta wait for alternate side. There's air raids. No, alternate side comes first. And that's how we do it. Well, how was everybody else's week? Anyone else get steam heat smell? Anyone in Florida? Anyone recovering in Florida? Not as bad as we thought, but still pretty bad. That storm was massive, insane. I guess maybe the people who watch us who are in Florida don't have power right now, so they can't log in that they're in Florida. But maybe now they can have drag queens, you know? There's a logic in there. I think that's all I have for this week, you guys. I mentioned my new gym grunt last week, which is still, I've tracked it to make sure, but to compare, my tennis grunt is, that's my tennis grunt. That's me hitting a tough backhand. And my gym grunt for lifting a weight that I can't actually lift is,
No.
yes, that is the sound I make when the weight is too heavy. I keep headphones in so I can't hear myself make that noise because it's just too embarrassing. It's like a kitten sort of being grabbed. You know, the sound a kitten makes when you grab it too quickly. All right, you guys, we have an awesome show for you this evening. I'm so excited. Are you guys happy to be here? Turn those mics on after. And now that I've warmed you up and whipped you into a tizzy, I'm so excited to bring your first comic to the stage. He's performing in a movie theater, it seems. You guys give a big round of applause for David Piccolomini.
Yeah, turn your mics on. I need this. Turn your mics on. I need this. It'll make me feel bad. I need this. I'm performing in a theater now. I'll start saying your names. I don't care. Oh man, I travel a lot for comedy, and I've seen some weird things. But the scariest thing I've seen was a billboard that was just a picture of a house on fire. So it just said, imagine no one showed up. Volunteer for the fire department today. Yeah. That's a scary billboard. But I think a scarier billboard would just be a picture of my 5'7" self, just in an ill-fitting fire suit. It just said, imagine only he showed up. Like, you can't see this body, but this body can't fight. That's the end of the sentence. I'm 5'7" and my wrists are this big. Like, nothing. I can't wield an axe. I'm in kind of a weird headspace because I went through a breakup recently.
Aww.
Yeah. So sorry, ladies. I'm back. They say when you go through a breakup, you just miss everything about your ex, which I thought was ridiculous. So I was lying in bed one night and I was like, oh God, I miss her money. Yeah, God, I miss her. She made 10 times as much as me, which is insane. I had no idea you can make $5,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's messed up. I had to update that joke from $3,000 because that was just making people sad now. They're like, you can't get by. Like, inflation even affected that joke, which I did not predict. Guys would make fun of me. They'd be like, don't you feel like less of a man when she buys you dinner or buys you drinks? And I'd be like, honestly, it's the only time that I feel pretty. It's the best. I find as I'm dating now, people keep saying they want to be in serious relationships. And that I'm like, well, I have bad news. I am a comedian. That's going to be like, people who want serious relationships, I don't think actually want serious relationships, because if they wanted a serious relationship, they could just date an autistic accountant. They're around, available, and that they will take everything you do serious. They'll be like, what are the goals? Okay, we will schedule and do these goals, and it will be very serious as a relationship. I think most people want a committed relationship. And for that, my suggestion is date a pilot, because they love committing to families so much that they have at least 3 of them around the country. All right, do we see it coming? Is that the problem with that one? It's me. I'm insecure about it. Okay. I don't like cemeteries. Not because they're like spooky or anything. This is a good Halloween joke. It's not because of that. It's just I think they're a waste of land. Like any cemetery that you see could just be another craft brewery. It could. It's just, or whatever you like, whatever thing that drives you. Like we could just, that's just a big waste of space where we're just like, let's store all our dead people in one spot. I think we should just, what I want to do when I die is I want to get cremated and get turned into gems. Did you know you could do that? You can get turned into gems?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Look it up. It's cool. I want to do that. I actually want my, like everyone in my lineage to do that. Just like have a whole set of family trees. Just a crest that we have up that just says we'd rather be right than likable. Sorry, that's more of an inside. Okay, but I want to do that. I want to like meet the woman I want to marry and talk to her and be like, Sarah, I love you so much. Will you accept my grandmother ring?
Yeah.
She's like, don't you mean grandmother's ring? I'll be like, nah, I said what I said. Get Susan on your finger. I think it's appropriate that I now look Amish because I did grow up homeschooled. The house was the Lord's house, though. I went to school in a church. Is that... I was homeschooled. I went to school 3 days a week in a church basement. And that's not like where the happy church stories are coming from. It's all the weird stuff that you don't realize is like messing with you. Like at one point they just told us that they were like, there's this new trend going around, and if you participate in it, you go directly to hell. And that trend was called Harry Potter. You guys remember that when the other side hated J.K. Rowling?
Yes.
That's why I don't think she's like that worried now when like the left protests her and stuff. She's like, the people with guns who were burning my books already did this. So like, what are you guys gonna do? All right, I'll stop talking about J.K. Rowling. Nobody wants to think about her. They just want to remember their memories about how much they enjoy Harry Potter. That's all people want to do. They want to just be like, what house are you in? Because you guys are talking about time travel. Does anybody know what they do if they had a time machine? Ooh, Molly.
Yeah, I would go and watch the Beatles' last show on top of Apple Records, because I think you could just show up on the street and you don't need to get
I like that.
That's a great answer.
Good answer.
That's a great answer because you've removed all the logistics of it and everything. You're like, quick, how much is a flight to London? I'll go, $60, easy. I don't know. How much was a flight to London in the 60s? Yeah. Or was that in America? I don't know anything about time.
No, it's in London.
Okay, thank God. Okay, so that's like truly, I don't have anything funny to say about that. That's just an excellent answer of someone. People keep saying like the lottery all the time. They're like, I would win the lottery. And I'm like, you would use $1 trillion machine to make millions of dollars? That seems like the wrong way to go for that. I asked my friend what he would do with it. He said he'd go back in time and he'd kill Hitler.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's no seeing the Beatles for sure. But I think that's crazy because he's never fired a gun before in his life. So what is he gonna just like? I'm like, you're not even gonna practice before you take the final exam. You're just gonna like go for it. It's really hard to shoot in the theater. Now I understand what John wants to do with that drill. Oh no, we can't joke about the president. Too late. No, not soon enough. We could have saved him. It's a time travel joke still. Okay. What I would do, I want to stop Hitler, is I would go back in time. But I've also never fired a gun before. So what I would do is I'd go back in time. I would marry Hitler's mom. Be an incredible stepdad to Hitler. Really encourage his art career. And then he'll just be an artist, which is way easier to shoot. I just don't want to fight a soldier. That's what I don't want to do. I want Hitler to be betrayed by someone he loved. That's what I want to happen. So last word should be Papa 9. Okay. I'm gonna just assume all the mutes are laughing at me. That's
That is the best way.
okay. Let's tell one story real quick, and then I'll get out of here. So I did this. I used to host these talent shows, and one time one of the people dropped out, and they were like, "Dave, we need you to fill in. Do you have any talents?" And I was like, "Well, I can headbutt a watermelon in half." And they were like, "Do you have any other talents?" And I was like, "I guess I could do like stand-up comedy. I could do a set of that." And they're like, "Headbutting a watermelon it is." Absolutely. And so I go and I'm like, they're like, "We'll take care of everything. You just show up. It's fine." And I was like, "Great." So I show up on the day of, and that's when it occurs to me that this event was in October, and that's all the good watermelons are gone by that point. It's like that Billy Joel song, but about watermelons. So like the only ones they have left are like the ones that shouldn't exist. They're just made by science. They're like the tiny GMO seedless things that are like the size of like a small volleyball. And so like I'm grabbing it and I'm holding it and I'm like, well, you know, it's smaller, easier to break. That's just science. We all know that. So I take it and I just start ramming it into my head over and over again. Boom. Boom. And around the fourth or fifth one, I'm just starting to go dizzy. Completely like my vision spotting. And then I have to do the one thing sadder than saying a talent is you can smash a watermelon with your head, which is admitting to a crowd that you can't do it. Because they were like, "Yeah, that's what we thought." And I was like, I believed. And then out from the crowd, a woman yells out and she goes, "I can do it. I headbutt watermelons all the time."
Oh.
And she just scrambles onto the stage before I could say anything and grabs the watermelon. And then this bachelor party of a person just gets on her knees and sets the watermelon down. And then she's holding it and she's like, "You guys pretend to be the floor, actually, for this." Okay, I've never done that before, and that's lovely. Okay. So she's holding it and she's just like lining up the shot. And then all of a sudden she goes for it and she releases, and as she releases, the watermelon rolls down the stage and she just wham right first into the stage, and the whole audience gasped. Except for me, who could not stop laughing. Anyway, she's like, "Let me try again," and I was like, "I'm not arguing with this person. I don't." That's a woman that'll take your ear off for sure. Like, so just I roll the watermelon back. This time we're doing for safety. I have my foot in front of it. I'm the doorstop I need to be for this. And then she lines up the shot again. She lights it up and then just hits. And it's the softest thud I've ever heard. And she goes, "Ow, that really hurt." And I'm like, "Yeah, what did you think I was doing? Do you think I like this is the first?" Anyway, that's the weirdest way I've ever ended up dating someone. It didn't last. We only had one thing in common. Anyway, that's my time. I'm David Piccolovini.
Give it up for David. David, where did that take? I think you said it in the beginning, but I missed it. Where did that take place? The watermelon head. Oh, did I freeze or did everyone else freeze?
He froze.
He froze. Oh, well. Just because that was a fascinating story. I don't know how my headbutting.
What?
Oh, I wondered where that took place.
Oh, that was in Philly. That was at actually Philadelphia.
No, that makes Philly makes sense. Philly has the kind of people that brag that they can smash their heads into watermelon.
The way I found out
that tracks,
was for a stand-up show where you had to have a talent. They would let you do 5 minutes of stand-up and then 5 minutes of a talent. And I was like, I don't have any talents, but I need stage time. Right. So I turned my head into a headbutting thing.
I once did a show at a comedy. What do they call it? A festival. Yes, I was part of a comedy festival. And there was another comedian there, and he's like, "I have this crazy show that's a comedy show that's also a talent show. Do you want to be in it? It's like tonight." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "What's your talent?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then I remembered I can hula hoop. So I was like, "I can hula hoop." And he's like, "Great, we have a hula hoop." So I got on stage and hula hooped. which I didn't realize is not funny at all. It's not impressive. It was one of the most mortifying. And because it was a festival, I invited friends. And these friends were like, we thought you did stand up. And I was like, I did too. I don't know what I did. But yeah, I didn't smash my head into a watermelon. That's amazing. I thought you were going to say, if you want a serious relationship, don't date a comedian because it'll always be a funny relationship.
Oh yeah,
no, you took that one out. That one, yeah, you didn't. Okay, yeah, you took that. You workshopped that. That was like not. I almost dated an airline pilot for a minute, and I knew that he would have a family in every city, but I thought that would be worth it to get to fly for free wherever I wanted. You know, I was like,
yeah,
could I have a husband with like other families? I'm like, yeah, but the miles, like you can just go anywhere.
I did briefly see someone who was married to a pilot. She was married to a pilot, and I was like, so you're in an open relationship? She was like, I'm assuming so.
Nice. We haven't talked about it. I'll let him know. Yeah, I was sort of flirting with that pilot, but a guy I had a bigger crush on then decided to like me right at that moment. You know how that happens, like the person you like first. And I ended up dating that guy and not the pilot. But every time we'd have a fight in my head, I would think, I could have dated a pilot.
Dating a pilot's great because you can just fly away from all your problems. You can just be like, you know what, I'm out of here.
Right. And then,
you know, maybe a weekend in Venezuela will really cool me off.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best. I say we all do it. Everyone go find a pilot, and we're gonna work on this together. I am, speaking of pilots,
I don't recommend it. It's like dating a surgeon, Carrie.
It's too busy. They're never.
No. If you want a really self-involved like surgeon, date a pilot. He'll have more time.
Oh, cool. But if I ever need surgery, I can call the pilot.
Exactly.
Nice. I'd be like, pilot boyfriend, take out my appendix. And then he won't do it. He'll be like, let's go to Argentina instead. So I have a story about meeting this next comedian. We met at a comedy festival, believe it or not on American soil. We met out of this country in the upper northern region we call Canada. And we had gotten together it was the She Dot Festival where it was all lady comedians. And we were sharing an apartment that we were renting together. But this apartment had tons of rooms, and it had 2 couches that were fold-out couches. They both counted as fold-out couches, so they counted them as beds. However, they were in an L shape to each other. Aaron's laughing. Tell me why you're laughing, Aaron, because this is funny to me.
Because I'm imagining, do you sleep head to foot or head to head?
No.
Or how do you unfold the couch?
How do you unfold both of them?
Yeah.
You can't unfold both of them, and they were counting them as 2 beds. So this next comedian and I, and keep in mind, I had met her maybe 45 minutes previous, and I was like, let's both try to unfold the beds at the same time and see who wins.
Oh, no.
And whoever wins gets to sleep on the folded out bed, and whoever loses has to sleep on the folded up couch. And this comedian who I had just met 45 minutes earlier was like, you're on, let's do it. And we had to fold out the couch competition. And because it's an L shape, you can't fold them out. They clunked into each other. And then we pretended we were in a spaceship and firing at each other. We were sober. This was during the day. And I knew we'd be fast friends, and I was right. And I'm so delighted to bring up your next comedian. You guys give a big round of applause to Molly Sanchez.
Yay! Thank you. And what she's not saying is I lost. I fully slept on a regular couch while she slept on a full bed.
Yeah.
But times are changing. For example, I can afford a standing desk now. One moment. Hold on. Here we go.
Wait, what?
Oh, bye, guys. My desk is going up into the sky. It's going to be the pilot. Oh, here I am again. Hello. Oh, it's so nice to see you from standing up. See, even though I'm on a Zoom show, I have respect for the craft of stand up, and I will stand up.
Excellent.
In deference to all of you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm actually, as you can tell by the fact that it's light outside and I look like I'm in debt, I'm coming to you from Hollywood, California.
Yay!
Thank you. Live from Hollywood right now. I moved here about 4 years ago, and let me tell you, right after I got here, so many of my dreams started coming true. Not any of my showbiz dreams, mostly the dreams where I show up at work in my underwear. But that's just because it's so darn hot, okay? It's very hot. It's like 80 degrees today while you guys are having your crisp little steam heater fall. I am like sweating onto every chair that I've ever sat on. So that's something cool. David mentioned going through a breakup, and I have had 2 breakups in 2 years. I can't tell if it's my mic that's making that sound. I really hope it's not.
It's not you.
Oh, thank God. Okay, then I'm going to stop gripping it. I've been through 2 breakups in about 2 years. The first one was with a man, and it was so weird because we had our last date and things were going so well, and we like cooked dinner together, and we kissed a lot, and we spent the night in each other's arms. And then the next day he wakes up and breaks up with me.
Aww.
And it was so weird. I was like, did you know you were going to break up with me the whole time? And kind of the implication was yes. So I felt like one of those YouTube videos where they have like the terminally ill dog, but they take it through the Burger King drive-through one last time. And the dog is so happy. It's so happy. And the dog's just like, "Whoa, this is the best day ever. What are you doing with that syringe, buddy? Is that where the French fries are?" The dog was me. And it's such an odd feeling to be broken up with, because it's just heartbreaking to know that I have done a fully nude interpretive dance to the Sopranos theme song to someone I don't even talk to anymore. That's wild. That's like Jane Austen sadness. That's really crazy. The other breakup I had in LA was a friend breakup. My best friend broke up with me. And I don't really want to compare a friend breakup to a romantic breakup, right? Because in one of those, you lose your partner, your confidant, the person who's seen you naked more times than anyone else. And in the other, you lose a guy named Kyle. Like there's no competition. A friend breakup is the worst heartbreak. It's so bad. Because like when you're going through like a romantic breakup, what do you say? You always say like, "Oh, hey, listen, in a couple of years after things have cooled down, maybe we'll be friends." Well, what the heck do you say during a friend breakup? Like, "Hey, in a couple of years, maybe we'll make out." And you can't even use any of your normal like post-breakup coping mechanisms in a friend breakup. You can't like take a little cheeky thirst trap, slap it on the Instagram story like, "Oh, this is me listening to Stephanie talk about her dad. This could be you, but you playing." You can't get drunk, and call your friend and be like, "Hey, listen, I know you said not to call you, but I'm drunk. You're drunk. What do you say? Let me come over." No, shh, baby girl, let me come over and you can tell me about your coworker you hate one last time. Come on. You can't do that stuff. It's just there's just simply no dignity to a friend breakup. It's a lot of you walking around crying and screaming things like, "I was her dog's godmother," into the west wind. Like, doesn't that mean anything anymore? It's tragic. It's really just a bummer and a half. But honestly, things are looking up for me in LA. Don't worry about me. Things are going great. Things are going really swell right now. So much so I'm having such a good time. I'm starting to worry about other people. Like specifically, I'm worried about the youth because I think that, you know, people always want to say that, oh, I wish we could give the youth the experience that we had when we were growing up, you know? And I saw a lot of parents this summer being like, boy, I wish I could give my kids a 90s summer. You know, no screens, playing outside, wonderful. Except for I've lived through my share of 90s summers. And I remember being a child during the 90s summers and just kind of staring off into the middle distance, gyrating on the leg of a swing set, pretending it was Aragon, son of Arathorn. So there were no screens involved, but I don't think it was as wholesome as people are remembering. No screens doesn't make kids better. It honestly makes kids weirder. Case in point, I had a memory flash back to me today when I was writing this set. I remember being a child and at a restaurant with my family, and I took the straw from my Shirley Temple. I was allowed to order soda at restaurants, not to brag, but to brag. Treat me different. I took the straw from my Shirley Temple and I connected it to a bunch of straws. So we had like a little thoroughfare of straws leading into my mouth. Then I would lie prostrate on the booth of the restaurant and no lie, pretend in front of God and the entire Olive Garden that I was sucking from the udder of a Shirley Temple cow. Slurping, cherry juice dribbling down my face, not a screen in sight. My parents wished someone would invent the iPad just so they have a relief from this. We used to do so many things before we had screens. Remember reading books on the toilet? That was just doesn't seem like such a halcyon time. Just like sitting down on the toilet and cracking a tome. Like, again, not to brag, but the house that I grew up in had a magazine rack built into the bathroom. Whoa. As to suggest, not only are you going to want to read one periodical while you're in here, you might want to read many while you're in here.
No.
Sure, you know, we read on the toilet now, but it's in these magical rectangles that show us what our high school bullies are doing at any given moment, you know. Experience is not the same, but I'm addicted. Like, it's gotten to the point where my bowels don't even get a moving unless I can see what Destiny from choir camp and how her divorce is going. Like, I need to get minute by minute updates. I'm sitting there pants off being like, oh, Destiny, he's not doing any of the things he promised he would in couples counseling, is he? Oh, really puts me bringing a rolling backpack to the 9th grade into perspective, doesn't it, Destiny? But as I said before, there is like one thing that I do actually worry about today's kids about, and I think you guys know what I'm going to say. I think we're all kind of worried about it. We don't really know what's going to happen with this. And I think that's, I worry, are the kids eating corn on the cob like it's a typewriter? Yeah. I'm worried that they're not. I'm worried that they're not. And I know your guys' knee-jerk reaction is going to be, okay, well, Molly, they've never used a typewriter. Why would they do that? Okay, hi. I'm young. I'm vibrant. I saw 9/11 happen in school. Like, I didn't use a typewriter either. And yet, as soon as I got my hands on an ear of corn, I was like a 1940s cub reporter. Like, no shirtwaist factory 70s. Like, I was in it to win it. And I don't really know if the youth of today are doing that. And frankly, I'm too scared to have children mouth corn ? In my Google history. So if anybody knows, please let me know. That's an important touchstone of culture I think they're missing out on. I'll leave you with this joke, but I was in my emotional support Target today because there's air conditioning there. And I was walking and a woman came up to me and she said, "You look fantastic." And I was so excited until she followed it with, "You look fantastic. When are you due?"
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Yeah, she thought I was pregnant. And I know it's hard to tell because like I'm standing up and I don't have like fat shoulders, but I'm a fat lady. Like I'm excited about it. Like my body looks like an inspiring Dove ad. Like that's what we're rocking with, okay?
Yeah.
To be honest, like I have the body of like a woman you'd feed grapes to in a Renaissance painting. Like and to have a body like that in a town where people are afraid to eat bread is like kind of a very powerful thing, I think. And I don't usually feel bad about it, but today this woman said that to me and it really like sparked something in me because I used to get this a lot more, where people assume I'm pregnant. And it's so disgusting because it's like, you really shouldn't be asking a woman that. It's so impolite to ask a woman you don't know that. Like, unless a woman is crowning, you have no business asking her that. And even then, you should be like, do you get a haircut? Something different about you. But this woman asked me that in the Target, and I thought you could either choose kindness or you could be loud. And I chose kindness. I was like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm just fat, And this woman looked at me and goes, no. Hey, no, you are not. No. Hey, no. Like the way you would comfort like a starting horse, like just like, shh. Oh, you're beautiful. No. Shh. She said, no, you're not. You're beautiful. She said, maybe you're pregnant and you don't know it yet.
Oh my God.
So I took a beat and instead of kindness, I chose volume. And I said, oh, well, maybe you're just a nasty, fetid hag and you don't know it yet. But yes, now you do. Now, gang, if you've ever wanted to leave the nasty, fetid hag in the dollar spot, it really speeds things up. And, that kind of like threw me for a loop because in recent years, I've really come to love my body and love the skin I'm in and like feel really good with what I'm working with. And that was not easy. Okay. I grew up in the 90s. We didn't have Lizzo. We had Snackwells. Okay. We were not conditioned to love our bodies. But one day I looked at a picture of myself from when I was in my 20s. And those were mean years. I slept on couches instead of pull-out beds. Like those were hard years for me. And I remember living in that body and hating my body every second of every day. But when I look at it now, when I'm in my 30s, I think, wow, that girl was beautiful. There was nothing wrong with her. And actually, I wish I had that body today, which leads me to think that when I'm 40, I'm going to want the body that I have today. And when I'm 50, I'll want the body that I had when I was 40. And 50 years from then, I'll be in heaven figuring out what really happened to John Benet Ramsey. And none of this will matter anyway. I'm just kidding. It was for sure the brother. All right. I've been Molly Sanchez. Good night.
You guys give it up for Molly. Molly and her standing desk and her
Let me go down.
And her standing up on the standing desk. Yeah, Molly, my thing is, if you don't know if a woman is pregnant, my new trick is to just challenge the woman to a uterus punching contest.
This is a great idea.
Because I think only a pregnant woman would say no to that.
That's true. Every other woman is raring to go to defend the you.
Who could do? Yeah. So I would just be like, do you want to have a uterus punching contest? She says no. I'm like, oh, you're pregnant.
Maybe you're pregnant. That's
you're
smart.
But maybe you're pregnant and don't know it. Who does that? That's insane.
It was
terrible.
wild.
Terrible. You guys, we have give it up one more time for Molly. Sipping on rosé on the westernmost coast. We have one more comic, but before we send up our headliner for the evening, I want to remind everyone that this is a free show. And we keep the show rolling by asking for tips from our audience. I'm going to put those links back in the chat. We really, really do appreciate it. It helps to keep the show rolling. We have to pay for Zoom because we are terrible business people and didn't know. I don't know. Zoom makes you pay for it if you want fancy Zoom, and a bunch of other things to help us keep the show rolling. My therapy bill is pretty high, so we do appreciate it. And to show our appreciation, I'm going to share our donors from last week. That should be a share. Is that sharing? It should be. So at Illuminati level, you can see we have Anne. Anne is not here this week. She's currently on a flight to Greece. Anne is overseas right now. Potato level, thank you, Henry. You reached potato level. And weirdly, I don't know how this happened, Brandon level was Brandon and Evil Dave. So that is a weird anomaly we did not see coming. The most upsetting thing about this last week was that we have no friends. Nobody got friend level. So try to donate on the friend level, you guys. We got to fill in this gap for friend level. We really do appreciate it. And we'll see if Evil Dave can bump himself at a Brandon level by next week. But these are the levels that we are dealing with. Okay, and that should stop the share. All right, are you guys ready for your headliner? We are so excited. This guy was quite the get. We're super excited. He has the same virtual background as me, and you know him, you love him. Give it up for Aaron Kominos-Smith, everybody. Woo!
Hello, everybody. A quick point of order, just to let you know, I recorded Carrie doing her gym grunt, and that is now my ringtone.
Nice.
I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody, not just for when Carrie calls. For everyone, and I can't wait for my almost 3-year-old daughter to say, "Dad, what's that?" And I'll say, "That's Carrie." That's who that is. Happy Fish Friday, everybody. Does everyone know what that is? Does everybody got it? Nope, because the rest of the Jews here in New York City are beginning their fast for Yom Kippur. Fish Friday is, if you've ever been to Russ and Daughters, or basically if you've ever had any smoked salmon anywhere that's very good across the country, there's a company called Acme Smoked Fish, and they do it. And on Fridays, they kind of open up their factory, and you can place an order and get it at basically wholesale prices. So I spent an hour standing in the now cold weather for our Yom Kippur breaking up the fast. We got 6 pounds of lox. If anybody wants to partake in some lox. And I bumped into a guy who lives in my building who gave me a ride back from there, and he had $400 of smoked fish that he had just purchased, and was telling me about whole smoked trout and how good it is. And I was like, that sounds great. And then he showed me one and unwrapped it and had a box of about 50 of them, and then just handed me one. So I was standing in the elevator of our building, just holding a smoked trout in my hand. And then I bumped into a guy who I know also in the building, and he gets in right behind me, and he just goes, "Oh, did they run out of bags at the grocery store?" I was like, clever. However, and then I told him the whole story of how I ended up with a smoked trout in my hands. It smelled delicious, by the way. It smelled like what I imagine a barbecue would smell like, or a grilling adventure in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Like, I imagine that's what every campfire smells like. It's just smoked trout, or like northern Washington State. It is chilly. It got chilly here in New York City. Those northern lights really bring the cold weather. I'm wearing sweatpants right now. They said there's northern lights that you can see from New York City. I've looked out my window last night. Tonight, I'm like, that's just the Empire State Building reflecting off the clouds. I don't see any lights whatsoever. And they were like, well, you could see it if you take your phone and you let your phone adjust to the sky. And it's like, or I could just look at other people's photos of it on my phone. Like, at that point, What are you telling? Just look at it through your phone. Okay. If you look at it through your television, that's really the best way to see what's happening outside your window. This is exciting news, everyone. I do some focus groups every now and then. I'll make like anywhere from $100 to $200 to do focus groups. And I always will like scroll down to be like, oh, how much are they paying me? Do I really want to do a focus group on like travel and my favorite airline? I don't know, for only $75. No, not interested. I got one that was a focus group for cookies. And I was like, yes.
Yes.
I didn't even scroll down. I'm just like, I'm in. What date? You want me to come there? I'm there. Wherever I am, whenever, I'm in. They must have seen every time I go to a new website and it says, do you accept all cookies? And I'm like, yeah. Who doesn't accept all cookies? Also, I feel like when you see that, when that message comes up, it's like, do you accept all cookies? Doesn't that feel like possibly some kind of like a trap to see if you're like a little racist? Like, doesn't it? It's like, I'm sure, I'm accepting of all cookies. I don't care what color, what shape. I don't care what flavor. I will accept whatever cookies you throw my way, especially the Jewish ones. I'm a big fan. I didn't know where I was going to go with that because I didn't actually plan a punchline. So I was waiting to see what thing I would decide would be a possibly racist cookie. I'm not sure.
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate is, if I refuse to accept chocolate, you're saying? Because it's too mainstream. Carrie, could you explain, Carrie, what you mean by that?
Well, you know how...
Yeah, we got it. I go back to laughing in the front row, Carrie. This will be a weird transition. I gotta wash the plate of cookies off with Dawn dish soap. You know when you see those Dawn dish soap commercials where they're like cleaning that baby duckling off that they just like plucked out of an oil spill? Do you guys remember these commercials? Molly knows what I'm talking about. That was a big 90s thing. That oil spills all the time. They'd always like have a video of them like pulling this like tiny baby duckling like out of an oil soaked ocean or like a beach. And I'm always like, how did the Dawn people know there was going to be an oil spill? Like how did that camera crew, like, did they just set up, or were they the ones that brought down the Exxon Valdez? Like, is that, are they the ones? Like, wow, these Dawn dish soap people have a lot of explosives in their truck. That's weird. It's an odd thing to have. That's what I think. I'm a real conspiracy theorist. That, Jews controlling the weather, I'm all over all of it. I almost didn't make it to this show tonight. I was pulling levers, weather levers. There's so many big levers you got to pull when you're controlling the weather. Yes. You guys heard about this, that Jews control the weather? Okay. Anyway. Other exciting stuff going on. My daughter's got like more teeth coming in the back of her mouth. And I'm like, I don't know how you have this many teeth. Like, how are you a vampire? How do you have so many teeth that just keep coming in? And she knows that the doctor has said that if it's really hurting her, we can give her some children's Tylenol. But the problem is she now knows this, and children's Tylenol is flavored like bubblegum. And so I think she really likes it, that now she's trying to game the system. And like right before bed, she'll just look at me and she'll be like, Daddy, my teeth hurt. I need Tylenol. And she started asking for Tylenol. We've created an addict, everybody. I think we started her young. She's already on board. I mean, now we go with the placebo effect. We just like give her like a dot so she thinks she's getting it. And then we negotiate with her. We're like, if we give you some, you have to go to sleep and close your eyes and not talk. You have to. So it works, which I think it might actually be healthier than giving her like actual bubble gum. I think that may be better for her at this point. Speaking of our health, I went to the eye doctor yesterday. I accidentally asked if they were going to dilute my pupils, and the doctor was like, I hope not. And I was like, well, I hope you do whatever's medically necessary to make sure my eyes are okay. And it was dilating my pupils, not diluting my pupils. I didn't realize that all eye doctors are just used car salesmen these days. They just they just constantly try to upsell you on everything. She was like, "Oh yeah, your prescription changed just a hair. It changed just a hair. You probably will need new glasses. We can do those for you here." And I was like, "Oh, the ones I have, they seem to be fine. It's not healthy for your eyes if you use old glasses. You should really do those here." I was like, "Okay, thanks for the prescription. I'll look into it." She was also looked at my contacts and she was like, "Ooh, you have two different brands for the different eyes. Oh, you know what? We can change that. We can order for you here. You can get the same brand in both eyes." I was like, "Well, but what I have now, like it works. I can see really well." No, but you probably want the same brand in both eyes. And I actually said, "Will having the same brand make me see better?" and she actually said, "Well, no, but some people, I mean, just this looks very confusing that you have these two different brands." And I was like, "Aren't you the doctor? Like, I'm figuring this out just fine. One goes in the right eye, one goes in the left eye. Like, this is like, there are tic-tac-toe games that are more complicated than this. Like, I can handle, oh, this is the right, this is the left. Like, I learned the thing. Like, even my daughter knows left and right at this point." Then she tried to get me to switch to daily contact lenses, again, because that would be less complicated because you don't have to count the number of days before you change them. As long as you can count to one, then you know it's time to change them. So she just kept trying. And I just wanted to, I almost said, "What percentage are you going to get of these?" Like, at this point, like, I'll give you $20 to like stop trying to upsell me on glasses. Like, just like enough. All right, everybody. So this is a pretty solid, a lot of health stuff that I talked about today. I think I covered. Oh, and Carrie was talking about alternate side of the street parking. I think the only thing Carrie didn't tell you guys about alternate side of the street parking is that the whole reason why we have to do it is because we have a street cleaner that comes by, and supposedly that those 2 days a week when you have to move your car, you're moving it so the street cleaner can come by and like have that little rotary brush that takes all the dirt that's in the curb and just evenly distributes it throughout the street. Like, that thing has to be able to get in there and get through. And that's why they make you move your car. So what used to happen on the Upper West Side was, even though it was like a 1.5 hour to 2 hour window, was once the street cleaner went by, you could then just leave your car and then they wouldn't give you a ticket. The idea was you just had to not be there. So even the street cleaner could come by at any point in that window. So you have to really be willing to sit there for that long. Where I live in Brooklyn, they also have alternate side parking. And I have seen a street cleaner in my 15 years of living here twice. So yeah, it's just a way for the city to give tickets. And I explained this to everybody when I was in Montana, because I had to parallel park my car in a tiny ranching town where there were a million parking spots. And I was trying to tell them how excited I was that there were so many parking spots. And I explained how hard it is to park in New York City, and they just were not understanding it. But I did say that one of my favorite things to do is in New York City is to watch people try to parallel park a pickup truck in New York City. It is hilarious because they just eventually give up and then I take their spot. And that's how it works. All right, everybody. That was a fun, extra, unnecessary story that I gave you about Montana. That was good. But we'll talk more about it next time. You guys, you are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I'll throw it back to Carrie. Oh, and if anybody is around this Sunday, if you live near Mohegan Sun, I'm in the finals of the competition at Comics. Not that it really matters if like you wouldn't affect if I move on or not, because the judges are deciding everything anyway. But you can come and start applause breaks in the middle of a setup. How about that? That would be amazing. This guy's premises are so good. He hasn't even gotten to the joke, but I'm clapping. You guys, you're amazing, everybody.
Give it up for
Handing it back to Carrie. Thank you.
Give it up for Aaron. And if anyone's around Brooklyn on Monday, I have my monthly show at the Ripped Bodice. Woo! Where it is an erotic bookstore in Park Slope. And come out Monday night at 7 and see my other show, the one that Aaron's jealous of. Just kidding. Aaron, I am with your eye doctor. I want the same brand in each eye, and I'm so neurotic and OCD that I wanted the same prescription in both eyes. Even though one is too high, one is too low, I was like, I don't care. My brain will make it work. I can't do the right and left. And I also went to dailies because I can't track your days. I can't with your days. So I'm basically your eye doctor. You guys, that's it for us this week. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next week. We're back. We're going to have a whole new lineup next week. Give it up for our comedians. Thank you, Molly and David, for coming. It was great to see you both. And we'll see you next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.